Today, I'm engraving on a mirror with Makercrate. So this should be fun. I don't think I've ever engraved on a mirror before. Let's take a look inside and see what we get. Ooh, that's pretty. It's got a mirror and a little mirror stand. We have our little pamphlet where we can scan the code for instructions, get a couple ideas, some more ideas. That's cool. I like the little leaves. That's neat. That's neat. And a history of engraving. So we might pop back to this to see what kind of design we want to go with. Keep that handy. Oh my, what else is in here? We've got some wood glue. I assume we'll be building that little wooden base. What's in here? Ooh, our engraving tool. Oh. A little brush and an engraving tool. All right, interesting. It's got sort of a texture on the tip. Okay, so here's our little tool. Looks like it needs batteries, which are included. Awesome. We've got some wooden dowels and some skinny washi tape. It's like a present. Look, it's all wrapped. It's so pretty. Here are our wood pieces. That's for the stand. I'm going to keep these wrapped until I need them later. 2 little mirrors. Oh, okay, stop. I'll stop. And they're light. I think that they are probably acrylic rather than glass. That's good. Let's not break anything. And the big round mirror. That will be the one that's going to go in the stand. Extra carbon paper for copying. Didn't work well last time. This probably will be much better. And some papers and a messy mat. So here are 2 possible designs to etch on. I kind of like this a lot. Maybe. I like this better than this. This doesn't appeal to me necessarily. And we've got a messy mat. Cool. Okay, so now let me take a peek at the instructions and figure out what I'm doing, because I don't really know. And then we can get ourselves set up to make our mirror. Look what I found. I was a little worried that I did not get the stencil. I was watching the directions and I said, I don't remember seeing that. So I went back into the box and it was stuck. So that's good, because I was like, how am I gonna try the stencil if I don't have a stencil? So here is what we need. We do not need this guy yet, so I'll put him safely to the side. I'm going to need the little mirrors. We'll fool around with them. We need our little brushy guy. Don't need the wood glue. We will need the washi tape. We won't need this right away, but we will need it in a little bit. I won't put it too far. So after we put our little mess mat down, I guess that should be step 1. We'll try to put our little batteries into our engraving machine. So we turn something some way, one direction. That one. And pop it out. Crack open our batteries. And we'll stick them in. I think they go this way, looks like. And we try to put it back together. I'm not really sure how I took it apart. Ha! So when you put it together, try not to turn it on. No, stop. All right, got it. Sort of has to like turn and click, but holding it presses the button. So it's got a little button. And it spins. So then we're just supposed to do a little bit of experimenting. They did mention that it might be a little loud, so I may need to turn the volume down when we do this. But first, I'm going to get Kleenex it sounded like if you are going to touch the mirror, you should touch it with a Kleenex so you don't scratch or really basically mess up the whole thing. And I don't want to mess up the whole thing yet. I feel like if I'm going to mess it up, I should do it the old-fashioned way. On top of our mirrors, as you can probably tell, there is a film. So I have to try to peel it off, and then we can start trying. Oh, that was satisfying. It's already a little scratched. That's okay, it's gonna get worse. Now we can start trying out the different ways to engrave. To sum up what they told us in the video, there are 3 different ways, I think, to try to engrave. 1 is to freehand, and we'll be doing that first. 2 is the stencil, and so I've got that over there. We'll do that next. And then 3 is to transfer using our carbon paper, and then engrave whatever shows up on the mirror. So that will be the 3rd thing that I try. But first, I will just try to freehand something. Maybe I'll write a word. Maybe I don't really know. It will probably depend on what works. So I'll try to write something, and then next I will use our little stencil. Maybe make a little leaf. First, I'm going to mess around with freehanding. I don't have high hopes, but I'll do my best. Okay, so it probably would be prettier if I had better handwriting. What they tell you to do is tap it off a little. Tap, 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 tap. Nothing tapped. Okay. And then you can brush off with your little brush. Okay. Now, the thing that makes it kind of hard to see is, you know, when you touch a mirror and there's that little space between your finger and then the reflection of your finger? It's the same thing for what you're engraving and then the reflection of what you're engraving. So it's easy to kind of get mixed up between, like, what layer am I working on? Am I up here or over there? Why do I see myself over there? Yeah. So using a stencil might actually work out a little bit better for me, but I think it was a good first effort. Okay, so next I'm going to try to use this little stencil. I think I'm going to flip it this way. So I'll tape it down and then see what I can do with the engraving tool and a stencil. I would say it's okay. So I'm going to try on my next one. Maybe I'll stencil something fatter like these guys. So I'll stencil a little thicker letter because the skinny little leaf was maybe not so effective, but maybe it's just me. And then maybe we'll try to come up with a cute little design to do with the carbon paper. Let me think of a design. Great. Sticking with the simplistic, I've got my little design. There it is. I'm not going to transfer on the high. I am going to try it with the stencil. 2nd time's a charm. I feel like I should give it a good solid try before deciding that it's not for me. So then, I'll peel this guy off. Ready? Pretty. Let me wrestle with the transfer paper bag because I know that that's never easy for me. It wasn't pretty, but I won in the end. Now, there's 2 layers of this. There's the white-ish, which they said maybe put it underneath to protect your work surface, which is a mess mat. I'm going to do it anyway. Do what I'm told. Then, this needs to go next. I'm like, let me guess the layers. Yes. Here. And all right, now trace over my little guy. And then get everything back off again. Huh, I mean, you can kind of see it. Sure, yeah. So then, the next thing that I'll do is I'm just going to try to trace that with my little machine and then add the high. Okay. Is it bad if none of them really work really well for me? I think that what I'm going to have to do for the big mirror is cross my fingers very, very hard that I can just manage. And I think I'll have to make something kind of thick, maybe like the vines that we saw in here. Something like those guys. But I'm going to have to draw them myself, and I'm going to have to draw them thick because it could just be me, but I can't really see the thin lines very well. They just kind of disappear into the other lines, and I cannot tell what I'm doing. So I'm going to have to do something nice and thick and robust and just hope that it works out to be something that I kind of at least a little bit like. But I'm going to do it anyway. They suggested that if you wanted to make your own design, you can flip this guy over, which is kind of nice because then you can see the curve of the mirror and kind of draw it on your own. So I'm going to do that for a little while and see if I can get kind of a simple but natural-ish kind of a pattern that I enjoy. Not that I don't like my little sunshine, he's very cute, but something that's a little bit more fitting with the simple kind of modern look of the mirror in its little stand. Does it show you it here? Yeah. So I feel like it needs to be a particular look to kind of all go together. And let's see if I can find that look. Put it onto a piece of paper. Wish me luck. Here I go! Oops. So I don't love this. But I kind of love this. Those are all of the things that I've just been saying. I can't really do that. But that's what I'm gonna do because of course I am. So let me try to prepare my surface. For this one, if you don't want to necessarily cover the entire thing with etching, you can just peel the film down to like the middle, which will be nice because it'll give my hands somewhere to like hold it and try to, you know, do this. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did before, put the transfer paper on, try to keep everything still, and draw myself some guides. This can only go well, but I think that it looks cool and hopefully it will end up kind of cool. The nice thing about the lines is I don't think they have to be perfectly extremely straight. You can use a ruler, but I'm not going to. So I guess it's time to throw caution to the wind and get to it. So there's already a scratch in the top, so I'm gonna just turn it around and make the other side be the top because I don't want there to already be a scratch when I start. I mean, everything is transferred pretty well, so that's a good first step. So now I'll just trace it all. I don't know if I'll color in the circles or not. I'm going to trace them to start and then see what I think. It's kind of cool. I think that that might do. Is it what I planned? No. Is it totally scratched? Yeah, it definitely is. But I don't know. It's cool. It's got like a hand-drawn vibe, but without being too shaky and fussy. It's not fussy. So I'm going to put this aside somewhere that it won't get scratched more. And we'll try to build our little frame and then let it sit and dry. And then the mirror project is finished. So let's get to the wood. Cool. I think I'm ready for manufacturing. I've got all of my wood pieces, my teeny little dowels, and my wood glue. So this is the bottom. I'll just put a little glue into the holes and then put in the pegs. And then dowels. And now the one with Makercrate can go on the edge so that we can all see it and appreciate it. And then the same on the other side. I like that better. So this will be the bottom. Okay. Then the top. So the slit should be in the back. Awesome! Now I can just let it dry for a little while. So pretty. And then I'll put in my mirror. Alrighty, it's nice and dry, so it's time to finally see what the mirror looks like inside its little holder. Straight? Straightish. That's kind of neat. It's a fun project. I may not be an engraver or an etcher anytime soon, but I think the best method was probably transferring onto the mirror with the carbon paper and then tracing over the lines with the engraver. That was the easiest, at least for me, to see. But I feel like you can probably get an acrylic mirror most places, probably IKEA, probably the dollar store, and you could try this out yourself and see if you can do a better job than me. Probably you can. But this was fun. It was an interesting activity, and I'm glad that I gave it a try. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you like this kind of video and you're not subscribed yet, feel free to do that right underneath the video and click the all notifications button so you don't miss anything. And I do still have a few more Makercrates to do before I turn my subscription back on and start receiving them again. So come on back and check them out. Also, I have a playlist of different Makercrate videos, so you can check those out as well. New videos come out every Saturday, so until the next one, be awesome, and I'll see you then. Bye!